But first of all, let's start with Richard Trapp. Now, Richard, I think one of the things that you're perhaps most widely known as an outstanding performance in the 1967 Florida-Georgia game, where you made a spectacular catch and run with a little under 7 minutes to go, which cut for a touchdown that cut the lead to 16-14 and sparked a dramatic last-second Gator victory on a Wayne Barfield field goal. Can you just share with us your recollections of that play and of that game?
Well, Roger, sure, I'd be happy to. I can tell you that the run gets better and better every year. It really does. I think I've gone through about 15 players. I evaded about 15 tacklers, I think, in that run. But no, it came at a great time. It came on national television. Of course, it came against Georgia, who is our main rival. I caught about a 10, 12-yard curl pattern, and a couple of guys had a hold of me right after I caught the ball, and I shook off them, and I'd caught it on the left side of the field, cut across the middle, picked up a couple of nice blocks, cut over to the side of the field, completely on the other side of the field, on the right side, and ran up the right sideline. And I did evade a few tacklers, and you're scared enough, you can do that.
Well, one account it was at least 8. And maybe one guy twice. Now, Richard, can you go ahead and then, of course, later in the game, and I was talking to Norm Carlson about this, is not as well known, of course, as the legendary catch and run that cut it to 16-14 late in the game. But the Gators had a great defensive stand, got the ball back. You had another excellent catch and run, breaking tackles that got the ball down into field goal range and allowed Wayne Barfield to get that field goal at the end of the game.
Yeah, that was about a 29-yard reception that also was a curl pattern, and I did get away with from 2 or 3 other tacklers and ended up getting close enough for the field goal. So that was an important catch. Listen, I had a good day that day. I wish I had every game that good. I think I had 9 catches for about 171 yards. And just to prepare for this show, I looked back at the stats, and Georgia that year had only allowed 70 yards per game in the air against their opponents, and this was the 7th game of the year. And I had 171 myself, so we had a good game that day.
And also, it was a national televised game, and Keith Jackson was doing the game, and early in his career. Yeah. And he said to that point that was the greatest run that he'd ever seen today. Before we move on, and I was just in preparation for the show, I looked on the internet and found some things. I actually found an account from the Gainesville Sun of the next day, and that's an excellent book that's published by the Gainesville Sun. And Joe Halberstein was the writer in the account on the Sunday paper, and he said it was a run that people will be talking about for years. And here, 3 years later, we're still talking about it.